Welcome to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast, where today's top influencers and entrepreneurs on the rise share empowering stories and ninja tips to become the fuel that ignites a positive change in your life. Our guests don't simply coast through life. They don't let difficult situations stop them. They set big goals, keep their eyes on the prize, and they're joining us today to share insider secrets you can use right now to step into your power and live your purpose. Now, here's your host, Christy Ruffino.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast. I am excited to be sharing this guest with you today. I am Christy Ruffino, and I have the honor of having Victoria Soul on the show. Welcome, Victoria.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show, Christy. I love your show. I think it's very inspirational and I love the name of it. So I really appreciate being here.
Yeah. And I honestly love the book that you just wrote. And I am right now in Florida, but 2 weeks ago, I met you at an amazing spa retreat mastermind group. And I just loved your story. I love your mission in the world. I know I have to say, I didn't buy your book right away because I thought, well, I'll get it when I get back home because I can't really do this while I'm traveling. But what happened is we're in a group chat and everybody else that was at the event with us was commenting on how great your book was. They read it on the airplane and they loved it. And I think even Maria, she started it right away and got her husband on it. And I'm just like, okay, I can't wait. I got to get the book. So I got the book. I haven't finished it. I'm about 3/4 of the way through. But I'm really excited to have you today because I plan to pick your brain a little bit today.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was really excited with Maria's results too. She's texted me a couple of times, and just based on the book, she's lost 10 pounds and gone back to her doctor 2 weeks later, and her cholesterol had dropped 40 points. That was the fastest they've ever seen it drop, and she feels amazing. So I'm so happy about that.
Wow. You need to get that testimonial for your website and stuff, because that's great. I'm sure you have a lot of testimonials. Yeah.
But I live for that. I mean, that's why I do this. I love hearing those things. It makes me so happy to help people like that. I love it.
I'm sure, especially with your health. I mean, I love helping people with business, but that's completely different than helping people, lose 10 pounds and and more, because I know she's on a journey and have that's life-changing, life-saving. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to just pause a moment because I want to read your bio. You've got a lot of things going on and I want people to kind of recognize you for the expert you are. So Victoria Soul, on the top of her website, it says, "Are you someone who wants to take a look and feel incredible, be a good role model, a vibrant health, and contribute to saving the planet, all while expanding compassion in the world? Then you are in the right place." So Victoria is a pioneer in the natural health industry. She has a doctorate in natural health, and with that knowledge, guides people into the healthiest version of themselves. She is a Chopra, right? How do I pronounce Chopra Certified Meditation Teacher and a certified medical QiGong therapist, correct? Yes. And I'm gonna take a moment here because you shared that you went to a meditation retreat where you had to meditate for days, right?
Yeah, I told you about that. I don't remember telling you about that, but
at dinner,
I did the Vipassana program, which is a 10-day course, and you meditate for 12 hours a day. I mean, there are little breaks in there, but you go in and meditate for 90 minutes at a time for the whole entire day. So it's pretty intense.
I can't meditate for 9 minutes, let alone 90 minutes all day for 12 hours for 10 days. That's you said that. And I'm like, whoa, this girl has discipline. And you've learned to master this art of meditation.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know that I would do Vipassana twice, but it definitely was worth it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So let me continue. Prior to all that, she has helped thousands of people discover better health and well-being through the juice bars that she owned for over a decade, where she created simple, easy recipes that are not only delicious, but detoxifying. With years of study and experience in mind, body, and spirit, she teaches simple, doable detox practices that afford easy weight loss and natural stress reduction as a springboard to live your best life. Wow, that's awesome. I don't know about you, but I love reading people's bios, and when people read mine and I listen to it, I'm like, oh, okay. But I read yours and I'm like, that's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
All right. You're kind of embarrassed now, so we'll move on. But
we're in the life-changing business together. It takes everybody, I mean, I think,
does.
you're doing amazing work. We all see our own achievements as so small, but each other's is so large. And I see yours as big, amazing. I mean, without you, I wouldn't be here talking. So
Yeah.
thank
Well,
you.
so I want to hear a little bit more about your story, because, your credentials are great. And I learned a little bit about some of parts of your story, but I don't know if it's the story as to why you're so passionate about helping people detox and have healthier lives. So you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So I guess, there are a lot of little things that happen in life that lead you to where you are. But I think the first thing that led me down a natural healing path was that my brother died of cancer when I was 17 and he was 24. He went through the surgery, chemo, radiation, the whole thing. And I always felt like there had to be a better way. And it wasn't until later on I had my own first child that I really wanted to know how to keep him healthy. I had been struggling with my own health. I was yo-yo dieting at that point. I would not eat to lose weight, and I had skin issues since I was in high school. My mom was always on a diet, and we thought we were eating healthy. We'd have the traditional diet with eggs and toast, or I had Raisin Bran for breakfast, and then lunch, I'd have a salad with a sandwich, and dinner, the regular thing, a meat and potato and rice and a vegetable. And while our vegetables were almost always from the can or frozen, we still thought we were eating a really healthy diet. It wasn't anything we considered. So when I started to learn and educate myself and just to get healthier and learn how to have healthier children, I realized that I wasn't doing as good a job as I thought I was. The first thing that I discovered, I went to Hippocrates Health Institute, and they're in Florida, and they teach detoxification basically. And they have a lot of people that come there that are super sick. I mean, that's what they've been doing. And this was, my son was a baby. So, that was almost 30 years ago, probably 30 years ago. Exactly. But while I was there, I went because I had rosacea, eczema, really bad, and I just couldn't lose weight, and I was constipated all the time. So I went there, and it changed my life, literally. I was next to a man who we both got there at the same time. We were in orientation together, and he was in a wheelchair. He's probably in his 70s, and he just was really out of breath, and it was a strain for him to just be alive. He was huffing and puffing and sweating and in a wheelchair. And so I stood next to him, trying to help him a little bit get over the uneven ground and that kind of thing. And I really wondered what was wrong with him. So I asked his wife that night at dinner, and she said that he had gotten the go home and sort your affairs speech from his team of doctors. They couldn't help him anymore. And they thought, this is the end for him. So just go home and enjoy the rest of your life. And it's not going to be very long. So their son had heard about Hippocrates, and he talked them into going and paid the way for them to go. And literally, I was really paying attention to that family because they really intrigued me. I was really glad that they came and took this last effort, even though he was so, so sick. So I think it was about the third day I saw him across campus, and he was walking. He didn't have the wheelchair anymore. and he had a smile on his
Oh,
face. And
wow.
I was like, oh my gosh, like I was feeling better. I was feeling more alive, healthier. And I was just so taken by him that I thought, this is what I need to do for work. This
Mm,
isn't just about me. This is about the world knowing how we can heal. So I
wow.
went home, started my juice bar, and I just started teaching people then about how to get healthy and change their lifestyle. And I have been doing that ever since, and I love it.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. That was what you said 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Holy cow. And I'm sure that's evolved a lot, right? Because you started with a juice bar and it's evolved to what you do now.
Yeah, what I do now, I actually sold that juice bar and it's still there. And the person who bought it now has 10 stores, which is really cool.
Wow.
Uh, and we have another one here in town. I was like the pioneer here that brought the whole thing. And yeah, what I really like to do now is teach people how to do it at home every day instead of, having to go to someone else. So teach them how to really take their health into their own hands because your lifestyle is the key. It's the small changes that you do every day. The small things you do every day add up so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, what's a key thing too is if you don't have a juice bar in your town or you're traveling or we're busy, we can't be running to the juice bar. We need to be able to make this easier for ourselves so we can be healthy on an ongoing basis, right? And learn why we're doing what we're doing so then it can be sustainable.
Absolutely. I feel like the magic in what I do, the reason I say, the reason I have a 7-day detox as a beginning is because I think if you're committed to making some changes for a short term, once you can feel the positive impact that that can have on you in just such a short time, it's really motivating to make some changes long term. I have a friend who is reading the book recently too, and he texted me and said, "Oh my gosh, Victoria, since I've read your book, everything I do is," so he's sending me pictures of his food, and he's like, "I am addicted to feeling good."
Yeah.
And I think we all are. We're all addicted to feeling good. We just don't know what feeling good can really mean, how really good you can feel.
Right. And I do know because I've tried different things. I haven't tried yours yet. But once we start making those changes, our body craves that good food. Our tastes change. I know I went off sugar for a while at one point, and then the first time I had something that had just a little bit of sugar, it was too much for me. And so you kind of put that, like how that change and how our body knows what's good for itself, right? It knows. And so we've got to we have to listen to our body. And I like that what you've done is you've broken it down to not be so overwhelming, right? 7 days. And
Yeah,
now if they can just listen to their body, it will tell them what they need to continue to do on an ongoing basis.
absolutely. I think initially that's tough for a lot of people
Yeah.
because, their body's saying, I want that, I want the candy, I want the sugar, I want whatever it is that you've decided isn't something you want to keep eating. And your body actually, that's the mind, that's the mind spirit part of this program is that your body can and does send messages to your brain to get
Mhm.
you to have more of that thing you're used to that gives you pleasure, whether it's good for you or not. It doesn't really decipher that for you. It's just like, send it in here. I want it now because it makes me feel good.
Right.
But
And so your
once,
body can do what it was designed to do, right?
yeah, yeah, once you get past the habit of things that don't serve you well, once you've said, you know what, I'm going to feel that discomfort of not having whatever it is just for now and eat this healthy thing instead. Once you get past that, your body starts to heal and it's like, wow, thank you. Thank you. Exactly. So you feel really good. And then the sugar doesn't taste good anymore. I think
Yeah.
that the problem that people get into a lot of times is that they think it's all or nothing. They're afraid, like with alcohol. So say you're an alcoholic and you should never have a drink again, because if you have a drink, you might start drinking every day. It's just
Right.
it's a real danger. But I think with the food, unless you are legitimately a food addicted to a certain food, you can occasionally have things. I mean, you can occasionally have things. The fear of never having that again can sometimes keep you from changing your habits. It's like it's too big to start. So that's why I teach detox, because I feel like if you agree to start for a few days and you can feel really good, it will motivate you to 90% of the time eat really healthy, or 80% of the time eat really healthy, and still have those other things sometimes. But
Mhm.
permit yourself to do that.
Yeah. So I know we're going to dive into some teaching after our break, but what I really, really like about what I've read in your book so far is you go into more than just the food we put in our mouth. It's detoxing your overall body, your habits, your mind, detox from stress and from energy blockages in your environment. So, I mean, you get into everything. So it's more than just don't eat that candy bar and only eat vegetables. It's just more than that. It's a whole lifestyle change.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I know it has to be. We're holistic. We can't just focus on the one thing. I mean, that's a great place to start, but you're
Mhm.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, hang tight, everybody. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back, and Victoria is going to dive into. I've got my paper ready to take notes, and I've got a lot of questions I want to ask her. So we want to make sure we leave a lot of time for that segment of the show. So hang tight. We'll be right back. Anyone can network. Yes, anyone can meet people and collect business cards. However, not everyone knows how to network in a way that will provide them with a regular supply of new and repeat business. Treasured Tribes is more than just another networking book. This revolutionary book will show you how to adapt different strategies with your networking efforts that will get you better results than ever before. To grab your copy, visit www.treasuredtribes.com. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast. I am Christy, and we have Victoria Soul, and we're going to talk about detoxifying for better health. And I mentioned earlier in the show that I bought her book. It is called the same title of this episode, Lifting the Layers to Vibrant Health. You can pick that up on Amazon. We'll also have the link in the show notes below. But I will say, I mentioned earlier that I didn't buy the book because I'm on this, 4-week travel journey to get out of the crappy weather of Chicago. And then when I heard all of the great testimonials from the people that had started reading the book, people that I knew that were in this mastermind with Victoria and I thought, heck, I am not going to wait. So I know there's a process to this. And my fear was, because I was traveling, and, we all have our excuses, right? I'm going to wait. I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to wait until the perfect day. But then I thought, well, there is never going to be a perfect day. I'm just going to go ahead and get the book. I'm going to learn what I need to do, and I'm going to start doing it. Even if I only do it for 5 days, and then for whatever reason, I have to stop because I'm going to be in the car for 2 days driving back home at some point. And then I'll start the 7-day again when I get home. And so that's my thought process. But can you speak to a little bit about that, on how to get started?
That is really great, Christy. I'm really glad that you asked me that, because that's really important. Yes, committing to a full 7 days of, stopping the toxins, which is really what you want to do. You wouldn't want to smear mud on the window with one hand while you wash it off with the other. So,
Ooh, that's a great analogy. I love that. Great visual.
But you can do so much because things add up, and small changes really add up over time, just like charges on your credit card. You do little tiny charges, a whole bunch of them, and you're shocked at how much it is. It's amazing. So when you're traveling, we could talk about that specifically, because I do have a lot of people that say, what do I do when I travel? I just go off it and eat whatever. And I mean, you can do that, of course. And there are ways to eat well while you're traveling. Um, a lot of the times, I use an app called Happy Cow, and that will tell me what's nearby for a place that has really healthy plant-based food. Because when you're stopping your toxins with your food, really what you want to do is eat primarily plant-based food. And that's to say, not processed plant-based food. I'm nothing against our plant-based meats that we have now, but they're really processed, and I don't see them as detoxifying. I think I see them as more recreational and transitional. If you're someone who wants to transition to a plant-based diet, they're a great substitute for what you're used to, but they're also processed. So what I do is I use the Happy Cow app, and for instance, when we were at that workshop that I was at with you, there was a restaurant just a few blocks away that was phenomenal.
Ooh.
I found it through Happy Cow, and I liked it so much the first time I went there. I got every meal there afterward, over the course of those 3 days. The food was amazing. So Happy Cow is really good. That's a good place to look. If you go somewhere and there isn't a place where you can actually get healthy food, you can always go to your grocery store and get things like berries to snack on, nuts and seeds, things like that you can substitute. Not necessarily the energy bars or the things that are prepackaged, but whole foods that are still in their state that they came from nature for you.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of that too. And if I'm traveling for a longer period of time and they happen to have like a little kitchenette, I will go out and get things like broccoli or stuff to make shakes with. And I'll make shakes in my room. If I'm not traveling for that long and they don't have that kind of thing, I can always get stuff at a juice bar or a smoothie place. But if you have to go to a regular restaurant, a really great way to eat healthy when you go to a regular restaurant that doesn't really have anything healthy on the menu is to get some sides. Just get a side of the green beans and a side of the potatoes and a salad. You can get a salad and then just put warm things with it, and it's very satisfying. And there's also, I have so much to say about traveling. You can also take with you some blue-green algae tablets, which are really great to take when you're traveling because they help your body to get rid of the radiation that you get when you go through security at the airport. And they're really alkaline, so they offset the acidity you might have from drinking more or the stress that goes on, because our body does undergo a little bit of stress when we're just in a different environment, even if we're having fun.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. All right. So I know you were doing the blue-green algae tablets there. I saw you put that in your water. Where would people get that?
You can go through my website, victoriasoul.com, but also, you can get them, and my link just takes you to Amazon, but you can just go directly to Amazon too. I like the smaller tablets, smaller chlorella or chlorella/spirulina tablet. Those products are usually really clean. There's also E3 Live, which is a frozen blue-green algae. You don't necessarily want to take that traveling with you, but I'm just telling you that now while I'm still thinking about it, that you can get for at home. That is really amazing. It's a live blue-green algae rather than dried.
Okay. Perfect. And then what about when you're traveling? You had mentioned making a shake. Do you bring your blender with you?
If I'm going to be away for a long time, a week or two, I will bring a NutriBullet, which is just a single serving blender. And you can buy a bunch of fruit at the grocery store, then put water or almond milk or cashew milk, any kind of milk you want in there, and blend up your breakfast. It's the thing that's really nice about that is because then you have more time to do fun things rather than go try to find something for breakfast,
Yeah. So at home, I usually, I don't even know what I want to tell you because maybe doing everything wrong, but I like to start with lemon water every morning. And I have an alkaline water machine, right? To have that kind of water. And then I will do my, I don't usually eat food because I'll just do lemon water, maybe a little bit of green tea, and then eat around noonish, right? So I have the, what is it called when you just only eat 8 hours a day? Intermittent fasting. Yeah, intermittent fasting. But then what I'll do is I'll do a shake, and I have my, my blender at home, and I have all my seeds I put in there, my kale and all that good stuff. And I feel now that I'm traveling, I'm like craving a good green shake with berries and all that fun. I put a half of a banana, frozen banana in there for a little, and cucumbers, frozen cucumbers. Like I put all these yummy things in there, and I'm just craving that. So I never even thought about getting a NutriBullet to bring with me. And why not? I'll order that right now and get that shipped to me here, because I think that would be great. I think I would feel just, I don't know, it would kind of soothe me right now, because my body's craving that. It's a weird thing, but I feel it's not psychosomatic.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Once you feel really good and your body's used to getting it, it wants more of it. And your morning routine is perfect. It's amazing that you get, I like what you do. I think that's really, really great. And you can, you're right. You can travel and have those smoothies each day, and they're easy. The NutriBullet doesn't take up a ton of room in your suitcase. And
I love that. All right. Well, there we go. So I've got lots of great notes. What do we do some of our snacks, well, almonds are good kind of a snack throughout the day. But I know when we're busy, we don't like, my shake's good because I don't have to prepare a lot. I kind of bulk up on the things I need. But then if I'm out just running errands, having something in your car. So besides, and you don't want to buy those bars because that's just full of sugar. What other ideas of different to-go things that we can bring with us that we don't necessarily need a refrigerator?
Yeah. One of the things I bring for a snack often is apples sliced up, and I can leave them in my car all day, and I can sprinkle a little cinnamon in the bag, and they're just so satisfying to me. I love apples with cinnamon. The other thing I use for snacks a lot are sprouted pumpkin seeds. I really like the sprouted pumpkin seeds because they're very satisfying. And when they're sprouted, they're so much better for you. They're less acidic and they digest quickly, and they're really good for helping you clean out. Not in a hurry. I don't want to make anybody worry about that, but they are really high in fiber and they're really good for your elimination.
So where do you get sprouted pumpkin? I've never seen or heard of sprouted pumpkin seeds.
I know. Here's the amazing thing. I used to sprout them myself, but I haven't had to do that for several years because you can now get them in your local grocery store.
Really?
Yeah, we have them in our local 2 small chains here and Whole Foods. I mean, they're available.
In the produce section?
No, they're in the dried nuts and seeds section.
All right, I'm gonna have to look for that.
Yeah.
Sprouted pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's shift gears. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about on that topic, but I'd love to be able to shift gears to the whole detoxing process, because I don't want people to feel that it's super overwhelming.
Yeah, I feel like you can really, what drives this whole thing is we do live in a toxic world. And, I don't like to say that, but it's true. We have 20 billion toxins in our environment, including, our food, drinking water, air, the products that we use at home. And we really have to start doing something to help the body heal itself, because our bodies are designed to heal themselves. Mm-hmm. And the only problem with that is that we're getting in the way of that. And that's why we have, 1.6 million people with new cancer cases each year. And so we need to detox. We need to pay attention to helping our bodies clean the old toxins out. And I believe, doing it in your everyday life over time is really the key, because when you can do that, you're preventing so many illnesses. You're preventing not only cancer, but heart disease and, a variety of small issues, as well as boosting your immune system. So the best ways to do that, are one, with the food that you eat, but you can also change your laundry soap, use water that's been filtered, get a filtration system for your drinking water. You can even use those pitchers at home, the little Brita pitcher. It gets rid of a lot of the contaminants in your water. You can put an air purifier in your bedroom at night, because you're in your room for hopefully 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours. And breathing cleaner air at that time is really nice because you're breathing deeply. So there are a lot of things you can do as far as what you're consuming. And also, our bodies, we do live in a stressful world too. It's not just toxic chemicals, but things, there's the news, things you
Yes.
see at the grocery store, or the way people act toward each other. I mean, there's all sort of television. There's just all kinds of things that can cause your body to go into the fight or flight response. And that creates acidity in the body, which your body has to deal with all of that. So I like to say, if you can limit those things a little bit more, pay more attention to the things that you're watching, just to let your body heal itself. Take some time to sit for a little while and just unplug from everything and give your body a moment to just reset.
That's so good. And not wait to get some terrible diagnosis or have something happen like that man that you met in the beginning of your journey, right? That go home and get your affairs in order. Once you've gotten to that point, your chances of turning it around are it's worse than taking our health that we have now and preserving it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's not, yes, you're improving your quantity of your life, but you're improving your quality of life today.
Yes. Yeah. And that's going to bring me to the topic of weight loss. Because I know for me, as the age I'm in, I've never had to worry about weight ever. And I ate whatever I wanted. I had a great metabolism and I was very blessed my whole life with that. But in the last, and I wouldn't even say the last 2 years because of COVID, but the last few years, no matter what I do and how healthy I am, or that I feel I am, I'm not managing my weight like I would like to manage. And I think a lot of women in their midlife are feeling those same, the stress of those same situations. So is detoxifying going to help us all with that dilemma?
Absolutely. Because your hormones become more balanced, which is the key when they're in the middle of your life. And I've had clients say, oh my gosh, I've been trying to lose weight since I hit menopause for 5 years. Whether I ate or didn't eat, I never lost a pound. But now that I've done your program, I lost 5 pounds this week. It's like a miracle. You don't understand, and it's true. I think there's also a mindset piece with it. We tend to think like, okay, we hit the middle of our life and it's harder to lose weight. And yes, we're planting that directive in our bodies.
Right.
And I
Our
think
subconscious mind is fulfilling
Totally.
that. Yeah, that belief.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you do a detox, you're opening yourself up to thinking differently because you're doing new things. And I think that's part of the reason it works, other than the fact that you're getting a lot more phytonutrients and antioxidants, and you're not putting in the things that you do normally every day, like have wine or caffeine or, the things that we really enjoy that we don't want to ever give up all the way. But by taking a little respite from those things, you can recognize that, oh yeah, I can lose weight. I'm not stuck.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So then let's talk about wine.
I love wine too.
I know. So I know everything is in moderation, but I
Mhm.
would assume when we're detoxing, we should, again, I haven't read this part yet, so I'm apologizing, but
okay. That's okay.
everybody
No
that's
problem.
listening probably hasn't read it either.
Yeah.
When we're in the detoxing process, especially in those 7 days, I'm sure it's really important to eliminate that because there's sugar.
Yeah.
right? And chemicals. Most
yeah.
wine has chemicals, bottom
Yeah,
line.
it does. You're right. The first 7 days, you really want to commit to not drinking any alcohol at all.
Mhm.
Yeah. And, it takes a couple days for your body to reset. And then I think you recognize at the end of the 7 days or even 5 days, you don't really want to drink every day anymore.
Right. Right. No, I get that. I get that. Because I know I've been through in the beginning of COVID, we would have my friends, we'd have our, we couldn't see each other. So who are we going to have a Zoom with tonight? And we'd get together and we would have a glass of wine and we would talk and we'd have fun. But we did what we could to like manage the process. But then I found myself drinking almost every night and trying to just have fun in a very difficult time. And then I was thinking, my gosh, this is not good. And then I was looking forward to my drink every night, just my glass of wine with my girlfriends. And then when I stopped, I didn't want it anymore. So you're right. Your body kind of just gets to the point where once you have eliminated that constant, you realize that you don't really crave it anymore. So
Yeah. It's like you stopped enough time for your body to reset. You're right.
yes.
The other part of that is, when we get used to having a glass of wine, the wine itself will trigger your part of the brain that wants more. And you kind of lose your ability to just have one.
Have one. Yeah. I know.
So if you can set yourself up for success with, like, if you go to the restaurant, tell the bartender or the waitress, look, I'm only going to have one glass of wine. Don't offer me a second. Because, it's protecting yourself while you're still totally present.
Right.
Or you get those little tiny, single serving bottle of wine to take home, if you're going to get on a Zoom call.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, one of my close friends, her father started a winery and they've got really great wine. And so her philosophy is, it's okay to have one glass of wine a day, because she was brought off with that belief system. So for me, I wanted to believe that to be true. But then I know once you have one, then you tend to have more. Well, anyways, this is not an episode about wine. I want to ask about meat. So you said meat does not necessarily fit into the detox process. And is that because meat is processed?
The reason it's not is because of two things. One, it takes longer for your body to digest than plants. Plants digest quickly, so you free up a lot of energy for your body to work on getting rid of old toxins that you've consumed before. Your body stores things, and a lot of times it will hold on to a little bit of fat, usually around your waist, to store things. And meat takes several hours to digest. 6. Sometimes meat won't be totally digested until the next day. So when your body's working hard to digest something and you've got all that energy going there, the mindset, in my point of view about this, is to stop eating that kind of thing, so your body can digest quickly and get on to the other part of it. The other thing is, when you eat an animal, you're eating what they ate and how they felt. So you don't really know what they ate. If you eat a carrot, an organic carrot, it's just a carrot. There isn't anything in there. You don't know where it came from. If it's organic, it was grown in organic soil or biodynamic, which is even better. But with meat, so it's the time that it takes to digest, as well as whatever the animal consumed and felt. That's part of it too. When an animal loses its life at the end, it's not a pleasant process. There's a lot of fear. No animal wants to die, and they have a will to live. And so there's some fear.
Stress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But then if we eat just vegetables, are we going to feel hungry all of the time?
Yeah. You don't want to eat just vegetables. So I teach people to eat vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, grains, alkaline grains like quinoa and millet. And so you can have anything that's a plant-based food. That's really a plant.
Got it. Oh my gosh. I have so many questions, but we are out of time. which is a good thing because now people are going to connect with you to learn more, read your book, get your free gift, which is, I know you shared earlier what your free gift is. And so I want to make sure that we talk about that again. It's 20 tips to detox every day without going hungry. And you're going to give us a special coupon code, which I love that. I really appreciate you providing a code for our audience to be able to get a 50% discount off of your 7-day detox program.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to give that to you. I'm excited for every one of your listeners to try it for 7 days and feel amazing.
Yeah. Well, so what if I want to gift this to somebody as well? Is there a way? So I would then be basically like, if I sign up for myself and then I want to sign up for a friend, I would just sign up with their email address, use the code, pay for it. And that way they get the system delivered to their and have access themselves.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If you have any trouble with that, we can get my admin person on board.
Well, I mean, as long as it's a different email address.
Exactly.
But I just want to make sure that that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Please. Okay. The more people that do it, the better. I feel like, this isn't just about us. We're changing. We are affecting and impacting other people, the planet, the next generation by how we feel and what we do. I want everyone to feel amazing.
So do you want to share a little bit about what's going to be in this program?
Yeah, the 7-day program is a progression. They're really short videos each day. I designed it because I had a lot of people at my juice bars that would do different detox programs and then go right back to eating what they were eating at the end of the 7 days or 3 days or however many days they did it, even though they felt better. And really what I wanted people to do was to see that they can really incorporate these things into their life and feel better long term. So I came up with just a little discussion each day for 7 days, like I'm personally coaching you. There are a bunch of recipes, and I even show you how to make the recipes. And during the making of them, which I tried to make things every succinct and short so that it doesn't take you much time, so you can still work your full-time job or do whatever you're going to do all day without it really interfering with your life. So I can show you how easy it can be. There's soup recipes for dinners that last several days. So you can make one big batch of soup and then you don't have to think about making dinner for the next few days. So there are questions and meditations to keep you thinking about how you're feeling and where you're going. And it's just been, I've had such great response from people. I am thrilled with the program and I'm always improving it. So don't be afraid to tell me if there's something that you don't like, because I really want everyone to really enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to sign up. Hope everybody that listens does. If you do, the link to get that is in the show notes, and please use the code Overcoming Mediocrity, all lower caps, to be able to save 50%. And I just want to thank you, Victoria. This was so great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Christy. It was such a pleasure.
It was. And all of you listening, I hope you took copious notes like I did. And I would encourage you to share that with people you love and people you know, because not only will you help them out, but you will retain this wisdom better by teaching it to somebody else. And of course, if you like our Overcoming Mediocrity podcast, please go to whatever platform that you listen and like us, review us, just do what you can to support our show so we can continue to have amazing guests like Victoria join us. So thanks, everybody. And most importantly, thanks, Victoria.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast, where we believe that everyone can have the business and life of their dreams once they've learned the art of mastering their story. Mastering our stories is the key to everything we want in life. Our stories can either hold us back or they can propel us to new heights. We can choose. You can choose. Choose to overcome mediocrity with us. Let's achieve greatness together. To learn more, visit www.overcomingmediocrity.org. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast.